Well, Russ, at the beginning, you asked me how things had turned out for me. Well, that's my story. Now, how about your story?
No longer a stranger, John. That's my story. It tells how my words were rejected. The good news first came through my actions. Through caring deeds, I was no longer a stranger to my people.
It was a dark time. The communists had just staged a coup and many people had been killed. But not all those killed were communists. For some, it was a time to satisfy grudges. 4 of my brothers were killed just for being Christian. I was lucky to escape, but the people still threatened me with the same fate if I continued to practice Christianity in the village. All of my cultural expectations were being attacked. Even the right to be buried in my own village had been withdrawn.
Those were certainly difficult times. It's a lonely feeling when the people you were grown up with turns against you.
Reluctantly, I left the village, and after living for a short while in town, I headed for New Zealand to study at a Bible college there. It was there that I learnt the ways of evangelism, the usual approaches that everybody uses. Being amongst fellow Christians and studying theology provided a comfortable environment, but it soon came to an end, and my new knowledge had to be put to good use. I felt that God wanted me to go back to my own village. I cringed at the thought of facing hostility all over again, but I knew I had to follow in the footsteps of my Lord, who lived among people who regarded him as a stranger. So I came back, hoping that somehow things just might be different. Nothing was different. The village huts and streets were still the same. Pigs still wallowed in the mud between the huts. The women still spent their time gathering wood and water. The people were still the same. And it was obvious from their conversation, feelings were still the same. The reservation was like a wall between us. It seemed unwise to settle in the village, so I decided to move out straight away. It's a sad day to be turned away from the fields where you spent so many happy days with childhood friends. And it's hard to put labels on the feelings that you have when you have something fantastic to tell people and they don't want to hear it. I had no choice but to move into town. There I built my own home. Still wanting to share the good news and gradually gaining confidence, I travelled into other parts of the island and began using the traditional evangelism skills I had learnt earlier. But after 2 years of this, there was not even one conversion. The only result was disinterest and opposition. It was plain to see that my efforts were not welcome. I was ready to give up. It was at this time that I met a group of Christians in the town. Just when I was at my lowest, I found the fellowship and encouragement that I badly needed. But I found more than just encouragement. One of them introduced me to something that was to change not only my whole world, but the lives of thousands of others. this amazing device could turn pig manure into fuel. I could hardly believe what I was looking at. This piece of simple technology could revolutionize my village. With all of the pigs that roam the village, there would be no shortage of fuel. It would also clean up the place and make it a lot healthier. And the women wouldn't have to work so hard gathering sticks for the daily cooking. I needed to build one to try it out. But where would I build it? Perhaps the people in my own village would be interested. I didn't really want to face them again. For days I thought about nothing else except this amazing technology. I thought pig manure, I slept it, my brain was full of pig manure. It was so much on my mind that I often found I wasn't thinking about the things that I should have been.